We're excited to talk about our new tripods. One of the things we did on both of the heads, the Ultra head and the Light head, is we came out with a new quick release attachment. So now instead of having a knob to turn to get that optic in and out of it, it's just a simple, quick release of the handle. You want to quickly, once you're in there and you found it, you want to quickly get on with the spotting scope to verify what it is. It's as simple as taking the binoculars off and putting the spotting scope on. Go online and check them out, epicoutdoors.com, or give us a call at 435-263-0777.
Been driving all day. We left Cedar around 9. Actually got to Grand Junction and stopped to grab a couple last minute things at Walmart, and realized that we had blown a bearing on the trailer, so that wasn't great. Made a quick stop to the mechanic shop that was just down the road, and they ended up getting us in and out quick. So big shout out to those guys. Made it out of there in probably an hour, maybe a little over an hour. So just barely behind time of what we would have wanted to be getting to the unit, but still gonna make it there and be in the unit and driving through in some daylight, so not too bad.
Morning.
Good morning. First day scouting today. We're just gonna truck it this morning, I think. Go up to a big point where we can see a lot of the country around here and just kind of pick a spot we want to scout tonight, and then if we need the side-by-side, we'll take it and get in somewhere and see if we can glass some elk. But try to cover just a lot of country this morning, see if we can kind of figure out where the bulls are and kind of where the herds are, really, I guess, and we'll just see kind of what we want our game plan to be. But never been in this portion of the unit, so a little bit new to myself, so we'll see what happens. Well, we just got up to the high country, and there's a whole pile of elk out here, probably 100 elk out here in the flat, so we're gonna drive out here, get just a little bit closer and get a good look at them. They're right in the middle. The one bull on the very far right is probably a shooter. I think it's good to start off with elk. I mean, that's a whole pile of elk there. 5 different bulls, a couple little rags, one decent bull that's, depending on what we see, maybe shooter, but nothing real big, but just decent. So good to see a whole pile of elk first thing. Well, those elk I just glassed, I just did a line distance to on Onyx. I got them marked and everything. They're 10 miles away. So that's too far. Too far for Logan to walk, he says. So no, they're about, I mean, they're not far off a road. I mean, couple miles off a road that we think we can maybe get to. So some of that country I've been looking at a lot, so that's a good confirmation, at least for me, that there is elk in some of that country. So probably worth hunting around that anyway. We're gonna go up in some of this high country stuff, check it out. I got stuff falling everywhere. Lace the boots up a little tighter, and we're gonna get up here and see what we can see. All right, that was a horrible hike, but we made it up into this head of this basin. It's not as good looking as I thought it was gonna be, but I mean, there's no reason an elk couldn't walk out of those pine trees and see one, but we'll see. Probably have to be a pretty good bull for us to make that hike back into here again, because packing him out would suck really bad. Ate some fruit snacks, sat back up, pulled up the binos, boom, there's cows right and wide open. Magical. Magic.
supposed to be a giant. Yeah, he's just a 5 point. Okay, we're gonna walk out of here, kind of scout our way out. There's some country we can look at on the way out. So this bull is just a raggy 5, so we're gonna go down, head back to the truck. Should be pretty easy walking all downhill, and so kind of scout our way down through that stuff.
All right, we're back to camp. It's cold. I'm freezing. Saw a handful of elk tonight, which was, I don't know, I was kind of surprised a little bit, but one small 5. We're gonna go to a different area tomorrow morning, an area that I've been around, and kind of, we talked to a guy a few years ago that said there was a bull killed up in this spot, so I know there's probably going to be elk around there. It's a little lower. We're going to get up early and go down there and check some of that out tomorrow and just kind of see if we can find where the majority of the elk are. They've just kind of been in spots so far, so.
We're moving. We're gonna go back where we saw those like 40-50 elk the other day and mill around there a little bit. Try to maybe see what's going on around there, see if anything's moving. There's a lot of people scattered through this country, and there's a moose down here in the bottom, but just not a lot of promising looking stuff with the amount of people that are kind of pushing through these pines and stuff. So we're gonna move along and see what else we can see. Made a 1,000-foot hike in like a mile. That sucked. Really bad. Yeah, we were gonna go to a different spot, but we were driving past, and this trail kind of came up to a canyon that people might be walking by on the trail in the bottom. This stuff looked really good. And coming around this hill, there was elk tracks and stuff, so there's no reason there shouldn't be elk in this canyon right here. So that's what we're hoping for. Decent ram. Bobcat right behind it. Radio that. Dude, that's insane. I heard it hit rocks. It wasn't even looking at us until just now. Little bobcat. I did glass up an elk though, so that's good. Looks like a cow and a calf stepped out. So let's see if there's anything else with them. I can smash her right there. How far is that? Like 575 or something. Well, we found a big moose, just the wrong kind of bull we're looking for, but still cool to see. Hoping that we can find an elk instead of moose. Found plenty of those this morning, so time for a different species.
spot it on him. Get your phone scope on him. Just walked around the corner of this phase. Shoot her bull right across the middle, right across the canyon. Okay, I was just gonna put one on him. He's like 2 from the top, right? Middle.
You ready?
Yeah. Dumped him.
Huh?
You dumped him.
Really?
He's down. He's tumbling. I can't see him now. He might have got up.
Are you kidding me? He's tumbling. Hang on. If I can hit him again, I'm getting him. No way.
He's behind that clump of
Behind the
trees.
trees. Just keep watching. No way that just happened, dude. Are you serious? That's freaking awesome. Okay, what we're gonna do, we've been watching for probably 20 minutes. He hasn't come out of that group of trees. It looks like a good hit. Hasn't come out of this little group of trees at all. And so we're gonna drop down just a little bit, go into this other clearing where I have a little different angle, see if we can see him or something through that group of trees. And if we can't see him, then we're gonna drop back down to the bottom and go up and see if he's dead. So, bull down, hopefully he's dead. So, let's see. Okay, we're on our way. We've got to drop about 600 feet in elevation, probably 7. And then I got to climb about 600 or 700 feet. So, we're gonna try to do it before dark and get there and make sure he's dead. Take some pictures, cut him up, and then we'll come pack him in the morning. But we have not seen him come out of those trees, so I'm guessing he's dead, but you just never know. So we're still locked and loaded, ready to go. If he happens to jump up when we get there or something, but crazier things have happened. But we're gonna go in prepared and hope for the best. So here we go.
As we were getting up the hill and close to the patch of trees that he was in, from the other side of the patch of trees, Logan could see where he exited that patch, and there's just a little ridge, lip that was right there, and he jumped over that. Wasn't going very well. His back end wasn't working real well, but enough to take off, and went and looked in his bed and started dry tracking him and found a little bit of blood and tracked him for a while until it was getting dark enough to where we just thought it was, the best idea and best interest to back out and come back the next morning and kind of let him settle down, hopefully just in that patch of pines. My hope was that he'd only go, 200-300 yards and lay down, but that next morning it proved actually that assumption was right, and this is what happened.
Okay, I'm starting from the trailhead. I'm gonna go up the trail a ways and hopefully, I would say it's 98% unlikely that we find this bull dead. Just the way he was hit, just spine shock. I just don't know if it's gonna play out, but we have to do our due diligence and try. I'm gonna work the whole face, big patch of pines that he's gonna be in. I'm hoping that when he busted last night, that he only went like 300 yards,
across there and bedded down again and hopefully died overnight. If he's not already dead, the hope is that I can kind of be still hunting through there and see him before he sees me and get another shot at him. I cannot believe what just happened. I just walked on him. I could smell him up here. I was creeping down through these rocks. Found his tracks right back behind me. Let me turn this around. I saw him starting to get up. He was still alive. Right here, 40 yards in front of me. I made sure I could see his shoulder, and I just pounded his shoulder. And he's dead now. He's dead right there. Right there. That's his back. I cannot believe that.
Well, here he is. Colorado first rifle bull. Man, I mean, all in all, it just took effort. It just played out. I mean, you go into a hunt and you see 50 head of elk the very first morning you're out. You think it's going to be sifting through elk, and you're really not. This bull, we were going across the canyon yesterday, and there was actually a couple older guys that was packing out a bull they killed opening morning, and it was day 2. Today's day 3. And they were packing out, and my hopes for the evening just went so far down so quick because they were coming out of the basin we were going to hunt. We were going to hunt that basin and then glass across to this canyon. So I figured, we still had some hope on this side, but the trail kind of being in the bottom worried me a little bit. But we got about 300 yards past those guys and put glass up, and sure enough, there was 2 cows and a bull right off the bat, and it was this bull. And I took a quick look at him. I said, dude, he's a good enough bull to punch the tag on. And so we laid out prone right there and just put it, had it about here, just maybe a touch above halfway. There might have been a touch of crosswind, but you can see right here is where I hit him last night. Just had a lot of spine shock. He tumbled. We watched the little tiny clump of trees he rolled into for about 30 minutes. Decided it was time to go over and see if he was dead. And when we went in, he took off and didn't want to push him. It was starting to get dark, so we didn't want to push him too hard. So we decided, it was best to back out of there and come back this morning. And that's what we did. We came in. Logan's been feeling really sick all last night and this morning. So it wasn't super far up the trail, and so we had him hang back there for a little while, and I kind of started working this and got up to where we left him and tried to look at kind of the angle he was going and cut his track further than where we had already been. And so I started looping around, and I caught just a tiny whiff of him, I thought, and tried to see where the wind was going. And then that video, when I get up to him, I was just right back here about 40-50 yards, and I saw him trying to move, and his back end wasn't working, and unfortunately he was still alive, wasn't dead, and so had to make it as quick and easy as we could and shot him again. Got his shoulder, could see his shoulder good and everything, pounded his shoulder right here. But man, I'm grateful for this bull. Awesome experience, taught me a lot. Definitely persistence pays, and staying optimistic about things can pay. Even when you're really low, it can get really high really quick. So thankful for Logan coming with me on this hunt, and it was a blast. So we're gonna get him cut up and get him trucked out of here, and that's that. So all right, we've got the first load going out. Just crunching through some stuff. Should be to the trail in no time. Pretty good feeling right there. What do you think, Logan? This is heavy.
Hind quarter pretty heavy?
Huh?
Hind quarter's pretty heavy?
Hindquarter's not light, I can tell you that much.
We're getting it out of here anyway.